coach the fifth graders up to that point.
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carricker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carricker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carricker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carricker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carricker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's game day. It's game day, baby! It doesn't feel real, Jake. Like, I remember last football season coming in here, breaking it down like no other show under God's hot sun. That statement's filled with humility. And then I remember the off season, and like it just seemed like decades before the day that we actually get to play football was finally going to be here. And now it's here, Jake. It almost doesn't seem real. But it's like the former player will never get out of me. You want to hear something very silly? I legit had butterflies last night and woke up a few times in the middle of the night. Like I did. Almost like I'm going to get ready to play. My wife was like, stop moving. Like I'm awake and I'm like thinking about today and I'm excited and going to Kansas City. The Huskers breaking down the game. I'm reacting to a win. Did you have any of that? Or were you just sleeping like a baby, just like every other fan, and you just get up and you go crazy on game day?
I slept pretty well, but I will admit, I mean, there's a little bit more to like, when you're just doing your work today, it's just kind of like, all right, today's important. You're like, it's like, there's like extra emphasis on what you're doing as if it's going to help the team out at all. But I do predict, I'm sorry for the city of Lincoln. I think, similar to, the first couple of days of March Madness tournament where there's not as much work production. I fear there might be a little less work production today in our capital city here.
And maybe tomorrow, like the day after the Super Bowl, especially if Nebraska wins. Especially if Nebraska it would be better for work production because that's what we care about here on this show. If Nebraska wins or loses, what would be more productive? I feel like people would show up to work pissed off.
Yeah.
And they'd be more likely to show up. Otherwise, there may be some extra hydrating after the game and maybe less people show up tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Yeah, I mean, because you're right. People would be mad. It's Friday, so you're just like, whatever, I'm mailing it in anyway.
Yeah. Don't do that. We don't support that.
No, that's not what I do, DP. Okay. But some people might be doing that. But no, you're right. I mean, the partying after the game, that's why it's funny to talk to people, that are going to the game. They're like, I'm not even planning on getting back to the hotel till like 2 or 3 if we win.
Yep.
If we lose, it might be midnight.
Yeah, the game starts at 8. Yeah. 3.5-hour game. That's 11:30. Then just getting to your car, getting to the parking lot. I mean, it could be 1 or 2 in the morning if you don't do any extra hydrating after the game. I'm just saying. Hydration's important, Jake. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a game day edition of the Adam Carricker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, hour 1 of the Adam Carricker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's hamiltontel.com. And if there was ever a loaded show on the Adam Carricker Show, it's today. I counted 5 clips. We got an entire game to preview. We got Cincinnati's clip from their coach, Satterfield. Again, no relation to Marcus. We got Coach Rule mic'd up at practice. We got Dylan RAIOLA. The comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. We got one thing that honestly my wife sent me, and it was just hilarious. A Missouri player maybe could use a little public speaking training, but that's okay. We all got to start somewhere. We'll play that clip, and it's just for fun. And what was the other one? Oh, yes, J.D. Pickell. How did he liken it? We got the clip. We'll play it later. This Nebraska offense is that kid in middle school who comes back from summer vacation with a mustache and is now 6'4". That's how he feels about Nebraska's offense. Also, there are other games at some point being played the rest of the year besides Nebraska football. My gosh, it's a loaded weekend. Dude, Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Miami, Florida State, Alabama. Our good buddy Tony White, how's he going to do? Florida State, what are they going to be like? I said Alabama is one of the 4 teams that I think, I mean, there's about 9 teams this year. If you want to add in Miami, there'd be 10. I kept him on the outside. There's 9 teams this year that could realistically win the national championship. More than we've had maybe ever going into a season. It was always in the past, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Clemson for a while. Then Clemson fell off, and then Alabama, and somebody else would pop up. You know, randomly Washington makes the national championship game or something like that. There's sometimes a surprise team. There's 9 teams this year. All right, so you got Texas, Ohio State. Oh, LSU, Clemson. Which actually, to me, I think is the most intriguing game. Notre Dame, Miami, they can both get away with losing that game. Like, you can lose 2 games, still get in the CFP this year. There's going to, at some point, especially as we go to more teams, but even this year, a 3-loss team might get in. But Alabama, Florida State, I mean, Alabama's a 13.5-point favorite. Texas, Ohio State's the big headliner. I'd be flabbergasted if both those teams don't get in, but that's the big headliner. And the odds to win the national championship, they're number 1 and 2 in the country coming into the season. For some reason, Clemson LSU is the most intriguing to me. I think I want to see, like, I truly believe Clemson will have a drop-off this year. Not rooting for it, just what I see. Unless they get a gigantic haul on the transfer portal, which Dabo Swinney's not a fan of. That's after the season. They're a legit title contender. I've kind of missed, I like Dabo. I've kind of missed seeing Clemson on that level. What do they look like on that level again? And this is the best roster LSU's had in 5 years. Brian Kelly's a good football coach, but we will find out this year if he's a good football coach and fit for LSU. Intriguing football games. And then Nebraska, Cincinnati tonight. So lots to talk about, lots to get into, lots to dive into. Let's start. All right. Dylan Raiola recently, I mean, there's a lot of comparisons to him and Patrick Mahomes. This is not breaking news. From the haircut to they look kind of similar to the number to they both played baseball to etc. He addresses all that in this clip. So why don't we go ahead and roll the clip?
Is you and Mahomes really cool, bro? Or is it cap?
Is that big bro? Like, what's up?
So I'm gonna just start with that. It ain't cap. It's real love.
Real love.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be like, oh, he want to be like him and all this stuff. It just so happened he played baseball. I play baseball.
Yeah.
He plays quarterback. I play quarterback.
You won 5.
He won 5.
You look alike. He look alike.
I thought somebody was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
You had to cut first. I seen it first.
Yeah, how to cut first.
I seen it.
You did how to cut
I seen
first.
it.
You did how to cut first. And so I'm saying, like, then, like, I can't.
Pre-game warm-up.
I can't get mad at God for making me look like him.
Facts.
Pat's cool, bro. He knows what it is. Like,
That's good you got that relationship regardless.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
somebody, that's a real mentor.
it's like him. I got my uncle Matthew Stafford, and I just started recently connected with Tom Brady.
So do you like the name Minnie Mahomes they be calling you?
Nah, bro. Every time the little kids around here be like, yo, Minnie Mahomes, like, what'd you say? I'm like, well, what's my name? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm trying to be my own guy, so you know what I'm saying?
All right. What's your reaction? What are your thoughts there, Jake?
Well, a lot to kind of dive into. You know, all the similarities are still there. Not a bad guy to emulate. You know, although he tries to kind of downplay that, I think there's a certain, you know, I mean, like you said, he's kind of mentoring him to a degree. So, you know, it works out well. You can name drop Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady as well. The haircut, I mean, that's a popular haircut. The pregame.
Do you know who had it first, the haircut? Because I've seen pictures of Dylan when he's 6 with the number 15.
Yeah, right.
So the number, you can take that out. God made them the way they look, so you can take that out a little bit. I don't immediately just jump to Dylan's side because there's something that got skimmed over there that I can't get over. We'll come back to that. But the haircut, do you know who had it first?
I don't necessarily know who had it first.
No idea. Sorry,
No.
Go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah.
Proceed.
But, you know, I mean, again, I think it's just interesting. I mean, the cosplay Mahomes thing, you know, the other team's going to throw that at, you know, other fan bases are going to continue to throw it out as long as it looks similar. And they look similar. And so it's fine. And now he's playing in Kansas City today. So, you know, it's not going to be dialed down today.
So we don't know who had the haircut first, so we can't really debate that. He's had 15 since he was young.
He switched around numbers, but yeah, he's had 15 before.
Okay. And he can't really help the way he looks other than, the haircut, which, again, we don't know who had it first. A lot of people play baseball. But there was one thing there that was casually said that nobody came back to. The pregame warm-up. The pregame warm-up is exactly the same. The hype into the crowd, the jumping up with the knees to the chest in the air. Now, I'm going to guess Mahomes did that first. Is it a big deal if he's emulating some big things from Mahomes? No, as long as at the end of the day, he is still his own player. I don't mind him. I've readily told people, hey, when I'm doing my show, if I see something over here I like, okay, maybe I'll incorporate that. Maybe I'll incorporate this. Maybe I'll incorporate that. I won't incorporate that or this, but I'll incorporate this. And I throw it all into a big ball of show wax and I put Adam Carricker all over it. And that's what you get every day. So I will readily say, hey, if this is working, I may use part of it. I may use part of this. I may not use part of this or that. You put it all in a ball of wax. It's a copycat league in the NFL. And I just put Adam Carricker all over it. So there's nothing wrong with that. As long as at the end of the day, he is his own man, his own person. Why would you not want to be mentored by Patrick Mahomes? Why would you not want to be coached by the same quarterback coach as Patrick Mahomes? If you are emulating everything and it's only because it's being pointed out that you're like, oh, maybe not, it's not too late to change. Not that it was the worst thing in the world, but you need to be your own person at some point. Thoughts?
Yeah.
The pregame warm-up, that's the one that gets me.
Well, and then, too, you just kind of think of the age, obviously. Every high schooler should try to look as much like Patrick Mahomes as they can, as you kind of, like you said, as you kind of, drift. And now he's, 2 years out of high school, getting ready for his second year starting at Nebraska. Maybe if the comparison, and the comparison clearly don't bother him. Otherwise, he could make a change if he wanted to. But if it does start to kind of bother you or whatever, he doesn't necessarily like the kids telling him he looks like Mini Mahomes, then just change. I thought there was a potential for that. You kind of have to read through some stuff to see why maybe Dylan wouldn't be a single-digit number holder despite being a captain and going to Big Ten Media Days. Probably could have done that if he wanted to. Decided not to. So again, I don't think he necessarily is bothered too much by it. He probably embraces it more than he'd like to let you know.
I think that's fair. I think he embraces it. Maybe wants to downplay it a little bit. Maybe it's kind of like, and he's a young guy too. We're not talking about a guy who's a junior, senior, 4th, 5th, 8th year guy like we have in college football sometimes now, like 24, 25, 22 years old. He just turned 20. So the younger you are, the more likely you are to emulate somebody. The older you are, the more you grow and become your own person too. So give him time. The pregame warm-up, like God didn't make that. That's the one thing I'm like, okay. And one of his teammates brought it up and nobody addressed it, just kept moving on. I was like, all right. Again, do you, but at the end of the day, do you. All right. So we got a bunch of other, is there anything off the text line real quick before we move forward?
Yeah, there's a few thoughts on that.
What do we got?
Nebraska says, I'm just glad that RAIOLA doesn't sound like Mahomes.
Okay. All right. Next one.
7278 says Dylan had it first. He said on a podcast.
Facts. Can't argue with words on a podcast. Everything you read on the internet is true. What do we got next?
5124 says, I don't care what he does as long as we're winning games.
So how have I phrased it all off season? As long as what he does when he was going to all these basketball games and et cetera, I was like, if that's part of the package and that package also includes winning games and playing well, then I accept the package. Anything else?
No, just a couple people saying, yeah, they also, one saying I slept fine to the point where losing games wouldn't surprise me. And then C. Munden said, I couldn't sleep at all last night due to nervous excitement. Hopefully the players slept better than I did.
Dude, that's my kind of fan right there. And to be clear, like fans make an impact. Like home field advantage is real. And we're going to have a home field advantage at Arrowhead. Like, do you remember 2020? No fans in games, no fans at WWE events. How bad was wrestling in 2020? The stupid little, well, no, I shouldn't say stupid. The screens that they had with the people's faces in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
It was
I
awful.
made it on there.
You made it on there?
Yeah. I got on one time.
You did?
Actually, twice. Yeah.
That's awesome. But it was not. Fans make an impact on the atmosphere of the game. Fans make an impact in the game. So I want to make that very, very clear. Show up, be rowdy, have fun, let your voices be known. It is 10-1 Nebraska versus Cincinnati fans. tonight. Let's make an impact on the game tonight. All right. Let's hear. You got the clip ready of Coach Rule mic'd up at practice?
Yeah.
So this is like you're going to hear players, you're going to hear Coach Rule at practice. It's kind of a little segment that was put out, okay? But it's Coach Rule mic'd up at a recent practice within the last week or so. Go ahead and roll that there, Jake.
Take it, guys. All right, now I'm mic'd up today, so don't say anything to me you don't want on CBS. I'm the feds today. And if I'm talking to you a little bit different and sound real mature, you know why. It's part of my job. But when it comes to getting after it, it's time to get after it. I got into this to watch young people develop. I love watching a team, find its identity, build itself. Hit your feet set. Hit. Get back to your spot. Where's your foot supposed to be? No. That's why we can't play great. We don't listen. Get your foot on the line. People think it's always just the most talented team. I don't believe that. If I was doing this, and I used to do this, I'd be like this. Hit, bang! Go attack him. Hit him before he hits you. You're not doing it for those big games on national TV when everyone's excited. What about the game where there's not many people there? Throw the ball incomplete. Know the situation. Do it again. Nice job, D. It's not a tough guy contest. It's a who plays harder, more physical contest. It's those moments where you're tested, where there's a little bit of adversity that, to me, the monotony of training camp shows up. That's a great rep. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Everybody see that? Get everybody running off the field, guys. It's a pride thing. We don't enter the field, we take the field, yes?
From my experience, Coach Rule's words always align with his feelings.
Let's get your asses up. Stop freaking looking at everything. Look through your eyelids and come off the ball.
Around college sports in general, sometimes somebody may say one thing but really feel another. But I think that he's not afraid to keep things real with you.
Come on, get over there. Make the damn tackle. Hey, Mosey, you gotta stop listening to your press clippings. I'm not playing all year with D linemen and frog stances. We want to have fun while we do this. Move up, guys. Thank you very much. Let's keep this grass nice and manicured like my lawn.
There's no lightning in the area.
Left hash, right? Left hash. It's raining? Thank you for letting me know it's raining. But I love our guys. I love their personalities. I love who they are, what they stand for. That's why I got into coaching.
People don't see his relationship he has with his players. And I think that's the biggest thing that separates him from everybody else.
You do like a wide run.
That'd be awesome. That's a great one.
Batter.
Yep. There's not a second we don't go through our practice when we're talking through situations, what he would do, what I think we should do.
It was good for you to see the hard part of this job. Like, you want the defense to fight back after Saturday, right? But you don't want it to be cheap shots. You want it to be, we're going to play with more effort. I want them to not just learn their assignments. I want them to understand the system. I want them to understand football. I want them to be experts and masters of the crafts, and then also connecting to something bigger than themselves.
Could you hear that well?
Yeah.
Okay, my headphones went in and out. Luckily, I pretty much know what's on the clip. You heard Matt, Coach Rule, you heard, it's weird to call him Matt. You heard Coach Rule, you heard Dylan RAIOLA, you heard some other guys. When you hear stuff like that, and you get to hear sights and sounds from practice, and here's what I will tell you. People love to tell people I'm mic'd up. And the intention when you go into something is maybe, I'll be a little bit more, I don't want to say professional or whatever, but, a little bit, maybe less colorful language or whatever the case may be, depending on the person. But as you get going, you forget you're mic'd up. It's happened. I've experienced it. I've seen people. So you get to see the longer it goes along, you kind of get into the flow of practice or a game or whenever you're mic'd up, and you forget you're mic'd up, and you get to hear the real raw sights and sounds of a practice and him coaching and players reacting and players' thoughts. When you hear that, what's your reaction there, Jake?
Well, it's cool. Kind of get like a little view into practice, and then they had a little music there to get you excited too. So, it's cool to kind of see, how he talks to his players, talks to the other staff. I mean, they've just done a great job at Nebraska, and maybe some would say, with the recent podcast, maybe almost too much of a look into Nebraska. But I think they're doing a great job. You're not giving away secrets. You're just selling the program, and they continue to do so. So I think this is just another good example of Nebraska utilizing what they have. And for years, I feel like that's been underused. And Matt Rule's really been, at the forefront of saying, hey, let's show off what we have. A lot of teams might have some nice things, but don't let it be undersold that Nebraska does too.
And don't worry, we're going to get into Nebraska, Cincinnati, breaking it down, stats, analysis. Who do you got to watch out for on Cincinnati? What to possibly expect from Nebraska? We've got a clip from Cincinnati's head coach. We've got other clips we're going to share as well. What Matt Rule is doing, I liken it to what Osborne did when he took over. There just needed to be some unique things about Nebraska. There are some special things and unique things they need to be emphasized, or people don't know about them. They just make assumptions about the state of Nebraska. And I've said it before, not a lot of people move here, but even less people move away. Because once you experience it, you're like, oh, this is awesome. The perception until you've been here doesn't always match up with what reality is until you are here. What they did with Husker Power and lifting weights, nobody was doing. And it gave Nebraska a huge edge. Starting in the late 60s, led to 2 national titles, 70-71. And then it was a huge factor in beating Miami and dominating Florida and winning those national titles in the 90s. I don't want to say other people have caught up, but the gap in Husker Power and everybody else is not anywhere near what it once was because other people said, hey, much like I talked about earlier, that's successful over there. Why don't we start doing it too, to a degree? So you look around now and you're like, well, has everybody done everything that can be done? No. So what can we do that other people aren't doing that can help Nebraska? You can have a national 7-on-7 camp that's never been done, and you get all these top recruits on campus so they can see it for themselves. You know what you do? You let major national media outlets have a behind the scenes. By the way, that round table where Dylan's talking about his comparisons to Mahomes, there's no moderator. It's just all the players talking. From Emmett to Marquise to Dylan, there was about 5-6 of them. And a behind-the-scenes look. And you give them a look into practice. And then you do something that honestly I never thought I'd see a head coach do because, let's be honest, it's risky. You start your own podcast. It's a phenomenal idea that is incredibly risky because he also started it during the season. Man, if it's after a win, it's going to be great. What happens if it's after a loss? These are things they had to discuss. Now, I don't know if he's putting one out today. It was supposed to be every Thursday, I believe, throughout the season. At least the first one was last Thursday at 10 a.m. But I will say this. If you lose on a Saturday, by the time Thursday rolls around, most people are looking ahead to the next game. So that had to be strategic as well, which is smart. But you do things that you know give people a look into a place that is great they otherwise wouldn't get, and you're doing things that other people aren't doing at their universities to try to gain an edge. And that's what Nebraska's done in the past, and that is what Matt Rule's doing now. Let's host national 7-on-7 events. Let's start a podcast. Matt Rule's great at speaking. Why not utilize that? It's risky. By the way, they knew back in February he was going to do this and launch this come the start of the season. This was not a last-minute thing. They knew back in February. So he's looking for any edge he can get to help with recruiting, to help this program, to help get eyeballs on Nebraska. Again, he's all over the place doing all these interviews. I think in his mind, it's like, if I walk into a living room and a kid has seen me do an interview on that national outlet, on this outlet, on that outlet, on that outlet, like Nick Saban could walk into a room, hey, look at these bad boys. I got 6-7 national championship rings. Well, we aren't there yet. But I can walk in and I can have a little bit of aura because you've seen me all these national things. And that's going to help with recruiting. So he's finding ways to get all these little edges that he possibly can. There's question marks about Matt Rule. There's question marks about how this is going to play out and work out. I'm excited about this season. I predicted 9 wins. I would jump for joy with 9 wins. If we make the playoff, my head might explode. If we get 8, I'll be happy. No jumping, but I'll be happy because it's a step in the right direction, 8 wins. But one thing I don't question is his ability to adapt and his ability to think outside the box, which is something that's necessary here at Nebraska. All right, any final thoughts before we head to break there, Jake?
No, I just kind of echoing what you say. It's awesome because you look at, the past coaches at Nebraska, who among them would be doing this in this role. And that's kind of the point. There's not a whole lot of personalities out there like Matt Rule. And I always love when he first stepped foot in the league. He's like, this place is awesome. Mm-hmm. And so he used that. And it's not going to be New York City. It's never going to be Los Angeles. So there's a certain way to pitch it. And he is trying to find the perfect way to do so. And like you said, just going anywhere he can to get that exposure will be great for Nebraska along the way. Just wait till they win, though, too. Add that on top of that.
Yes.
And then it's going to be like, okay, now here's Matt Rule, 10-win coach, with the program moving. Let's listen a little bit more to what he has to say.
You make a great point. Right now, we can't walk in and say we've won a bajillion games recently. So it's another thing. Like, obviously, the more you win, the easier it is to recruit. But it's another thing that he has to find a way to make this place attractive and let people know about this place because right now you can't walk in and say, we've got national title rings recently, and we've got as many wins as we'd like recently. Hopefully that changes. But in the meantime, you've got to think outside the box, and he is. The podcast thing for most coaches would be terrifying, especially during the season. One thing Matt Rule does really, really well, you put a mic in front of his face. He's very, very good with that. So why not utilize that strength? And it takes some courage to do it, being a head coach too. So kudos to him on that. I can't wait to follow him each and every week. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to acknowledge that other teams in the country are also playing college football. I feel like we need to acknowledge college football exists somewhere else in the world. We're going to give our breakdowns for the biggest games this weekend. So, Jake, you can go ahead and pull those up. And that'll be what the next segment is. And then after that, we will get back into Nebraska, Cincinnati, game day analysis. Have you officially given a prediction?
Not officially.
Ooh, we'll give our prediction before the end of the show as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Boxing is back this Saturday with no nonsense at the Complex. The Midwest's best professional boxers will display their best performances with hometown favorites Clyde Godzilla Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks among the boxers. Get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com where you can live stream the event as well. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 30th at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies with light winds, a high around 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds, a low around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds, matching high near 82. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I got to switch headphones. I cannot hear Jack out of this. Give me a sec. Oh, that is so much better. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carricker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, Jake, let's go through. You and I are big college football junkies, nerds, whatever you want to call it. So let's talk about some of the other college football games. Let's give some analysis and prediction. Here's the one I want to start with. All right. You know what? I'm going to put it at the end. Texas, Ohio State. We're going to come back to that. LSU, Clemson. What are your thoughts here, Jake?
Yeah, that's an exciting one. The battle for Death Valley. We will, we have to wait and see here. Lots of fun. LSU has struggled with these opening games now. They play some pretty good teams right out of the gate, but I think they've lost something like 4 straight season openers, 5 straight season openers. So that doesn't make me feel all that good about LSU coming out and getting the win. So, that makes me feel obviously, that Clemson's probably got a better shot at this. But, you kind of go back to the SEC versus the ACC. Clemson obviously at the top of that. The SEC's got more depth, so LSU maybe not, the prime example, the powerhouse there. But it's going to be fun. These teams have not. I mean, when I say the battle for Death Valley, that's a big part of it. They're not. That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been some talk going into this game. A lot of bravado. I mean, both these teams are loaded as far as you kind of look at the talent. The composite team talent rankings. So I mean, it's a top 10 matchup for a reason. Going to be tough to come down to it, but those opening season losses for LSU might have me sliding with the Clemson Tigers here.
So you talk about the team talent composite rankings. I'm sitting here looking at them right now. Number 6 in the country, LSU. Number 7, Clemson. So very evenly matched, 2 very talented teams. Yeah, LSU has lost 5 season opening games in a row. I mean, not a bunch of gimmies. Last year was USC, Florida State. Then before that was Florida State, albeit unranked Seminoles. And then you got UCLA the year before and Mississippi State the year before that. But Clemson last year was 0-3 versus the SEC, so something's got to give here. All right. Now, Clemson still won the ACC championship, made the college football playoff, as we know. The biggest strength of Clemson's team may be their defensive line. They have easily one of the top 5, 4, 3, 2 defensive lines in the entire country. A lot of people think they may have the best overall offense in the entire country coming in. A lot of preseason publications have them number 1, some 2, some 3, some 5. They're always in the top 5. You got two Heisman Trophy candidates, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier. The two quarterbacks are two guys who very well could be in New York at the end of the season. If Nussmeier can limit some of his interceptions that he had a year ago, get a little bit more help from his defense. His defense was better last year, not great. All right, Cade Klubnik has kind of come into his own. Nationally, a lot of people have him as potentially the best quarterback in the country. Drew Aller's up in that conversation as well. So is Nussmeier. I think LSU's biggest weakness, first of all, the Tigers are going to win. Just so you know, Jake, the Tigers are going to win this game. Put money
prediction.
on it. 100% guaranteed the Tigers will win. There's some people who immediately thought, oh, Clemson. Some people immediately thought LSU. Very few people, or there was probably a few people who were like, oh, bad joke, Adam. I do apologize, but LSU's biggest weakness or question mark coming into the season, because we don't really know weaknesses yet, we know question marks, is their offensive line. And I just said the strongest unit Clemson had is their defensive line. That, to me, is the difference in the game. LSU, this is the best compiled roster they've had in 5 years. This is a team I have in the CFP, the College Football Playoff. I also have Clemson making the national championship of the College Football Playoff. It doesn't mean it's going to work out this way. I'm going to take Clemson in this particular game. All right. Next up, let's discuss Florida State and Alabama. Florida State, is it still 13.5 points? They're an underdog here?
Let me double check. But yeah, that's where it was, about where it was last time I saw.
All right. While you're checking, both Florida State, Alabama, unlike Clemson and LSU, they're starting brand new quarterbacks. Florida State, new offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, new defensive coordinator, our good buddy Tony White, putting in the 3-3-5 down there. Florida State's never ran that before, but obviously we know he's a good coordinator. He had some frustrations throughout camp with some of his players. Hopefully, if you're a Florida State fan, that's kind of been remedied a little bit. When it comes to Florida State, when it comes to LSU, again, two of the most talented rosters in the country. All right, as I look at this, let me find it here. Not LSU, Alabama. As I said the other day, Alabama has the number 1 team talent composite ranking in the entire country. Florida State drops to 19. I can't help but wonder if that's based off returning production for one team versus the other versus actual talent. The thing Alabama has this year, because they were number 1 in talent composite ranking a year ago, I never said they had the best roster. I said it was Ohio State. Because when you factor in returning experience, cohesiveness, guys who are proven, Alabama didn't have that, especially in their secondary. They're starting a bunch of freshmen last year. They've got it now this year. Florida State has a bunch of talent. And instead of going for guys out of the portal, they brought in a bunch of portal guys again this year. They just live and die by that portal. Instead of bringing in a bunch of guys who were maybe didn't quite play at Georgia, didn't quite play at these other schools, but had a really high ceiling, were 4- and 5-star guys out of high school, weren't quite as proven. That worked 1 year, and the bottom fell out year 2. Florida State's team quit last year on Mike Norvell. They just quit. They were way more talented than the production they put on the field. Norvell has switched how he brings in transfer portal guys. It's now more proven production versus top-end potential ceiling guys who also have a lower floor. It's more proven production. I'm going to take Alabama in this one because Alabama didn't have hardly anybody leave as far as transfer portal guys. They were very young. Most of these guys are back. Kalen DeBoer is back. Kalen DeBoer is a very underrated coach. You follow Nick Saban, anything less than a national title is a failure in Bama's eyes, and I get that. He's still a really good coach. You look at Florida State, Mike Norvell's a good coach. I don't know that he's proven he's absolutely the guy, and then you got 2 brand new coordinators. As good as Malzahn and White are, they're still brand new. There's too much brand new for Florida State. I'm going to take Alabama, and it's funny. Is it still 13.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Alabama to cover because I legit have the score 35-21. So 14 points technically covers. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I just reminded this is at Doak Campbell Stadium. A lot of these are, even sites. This is for Florida State. Similar to the Clemson and LSU, no shortage of trash talk coming into this game. So it's going to be fun. 2:30 kickoff there on Saturday. I think Alabama bounces back in a big way in Kalen DeBoer. I just big believer in the guy. What he did at Washington was spectacular. Kind of have to mold things, like you said, not going to be quite Nick Saban right out of the gate. Usually year 1, not going to go as well as, year 3 as what we're hoping here with Matt Rule, right? This is year 2 for DeBoer there. But I think they get right back in the national title contention. Florida State, it's a long ask, to go from 2-10 to go up there and defeat Alabama. So I like the spread where it is. I'd probably say that they cover 2. I think it'll be interesting and it'll be fun. for about 2.5 quarters, though, when we're all kind of thinking maybe they could do it. We'll see. Thomas Castellanos is going to have to back up what he's been saying. We're going to see James Williams out there. Of course, a lot of Husker connections on that staff, even John Papuchis to go back even further. So I might even cheer for Florida State. But I think Alabama's going to win.
I forgot about James Williams. I'm curious to see how he does down there. All right. Coach Knighton's down there as well. So a lot of points, good points there. I feel like this is a big game for Florida State to earn some respect. This is a big game for Kalen DeBoer. Bama fans are going to start getting impatient with him if he loses a game like this. Florida State fans, if you're Florida State, you might, moral victory induced here, walk away if you lose 24-23 on a last-second field goal, be like, all right, we're better. But if you're Alabama, if you don't win, Kalen DeBoer might start feeling some heat, which is crazy because he's one of the best coaches in America. All right, Notre Dame, Miami. Notre Dame was top 5 in the country when it came to runs of 30-plus yards a season ago. 2 of the best running backs in the entire country. When it comes to the offensive line at Notre Dame, thank you for Rocco Spindler. But last year, that was the strength of their team, was their run game, their offensive line. And they had injuries, man. They had injury after injury after injury. They had to trot freshmen out there at times, and they just kept mauling people. They are a physical team. You want to talk about a team with an actual culture. I don't know if there's many teams around the country you can look at and say there's an actual culture there just because there's so much turnover in college football right now. There's less turnover at Notre Dame. If you're going to go to Notre Dame with the academic and some of the other factors that go into playing for the Irish, you're going to be much less likely to leave. So that helps Marcus Freeman when it comes to building a culture. This is a team I expect to make less self-imposed game one ugly mistakes. This is a team I trust to be physical. I will say this. They faced 3 top 10 teams last year, and as good as their run game was, they barely averaged over 3 yards per rush against those teams. So they will need to throw the ball. Miami, they were a college football playoff team last year with an FCS defense. If they can play defense at all, and their secondary was awful. They got all new secondary starters, all 4 brand new. And the reports out of there this offseason is their secondary is going to be one of the strengths of their team. Well, we'll see what actually happens. I want to see what happens on the field. What if Notre Dame can't run the ball effectively? Miami has 3 of their top 5 pass rushers back. They got a revamped defense, a new defensive coordinator. They expect their secondary to be a strength. What if Notre Dame has to throw and that secondary gets tested? If you go to the other side of the ball, I think Miami may have the edge when it comes along the trenches of the O-line they have versus the D-line. I think this game's going to be won and lost in the trenches. Carson Beck, Georgia transfer, going to go to the NFL, then goes to Miami for $4 million a year. How's the elbow? There's a difference between being cleared and feeling good. Hopefully he's feeling good. They have to replace their top 6 pass catchers from a year ago. If Miami can run the ball, they got a shot. If they can't, I don't know. They're probably more talented, more athletic. I trust more things about Notre Dame, a team that just played for the national title. I'm going to take the Irish in a close one. What do you got, Jake?
Well, we talked about LSU earlier and using their pass against them in early season games. Notre Dame, remember, lost last year to Northern Illinois in September. So hopefully Marcus Freeman's got him going, and that's where I really feel comfortable is, Marcus Freeman, one of the up-and-coming coaches in college football, in football in general, feeling a better place about him than where Mario Cristobal is now. Still doing well at Miami, right? But that game a couple years ago where he cost him the game by not kneeling, it still sticks with me. But remember, CJ Carr starting here for Notre Dame, grandson of Lloyd Carr. Kind of an interesting dynamic there. Lloyd Carr, of course, the Michigan coach, longtime Michigan coach, claims he's got a national title or something. I can't remember. But in any case, but I do. I mean, you know what I love? I love run game. I love defense. Notre Dame's program's always is all about that. Miami, they might have some optimism offseason. They were in a lot of shootouts last year.
They were.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick Notre Dame here, though it is at Miami again. So that could give you a few points there, maybe if people show up. Tough to tell with Miami's home crowd, but for the Notre Dame game, I think they would.
Take that, Hurricane fans.
That's right. If you're out there.
You make a great point. I definitely trust Marcus Freeman more than I trust Mario Cristobal on game day. As far as acquiring talent, Mario Cristobal is top notch. Game day decisions, take the knee, man. Win the game. I trust Marcus Freeman as well. So we're going to go to break. Is there anything off the text line real quick?
We got some stuff here on YouTube.
Let's discuss that when we come back. Also, Texas, Ohio State. Is there another major game that I'm missing? I saved that one for the end.
That's the biggest one.
Okay, we're going to discuss that when we come back after break. And apparently there's a couple things off the text line. Excuse me as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed, with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a game day edition of the Adam Carricker Show. I forgot the whole intro to the show, Jake.
Uh-oh.
We'll get back to it next time. It's game day. Today you're gonna hear Husker football, college football, and then back to Husker football. What do we got off the text line there, Jake?
A couple thoughts here. Actually, let's go to YouTube here. Douglas says, thinking about that Alabama, not hard to think Alabama might do what Nebraska did. Fire coach early that was winning enough, but just not winning the Natty. I'm young, so of course I don't know it, but it took Osborne decades to win in national championship.
Solich or Pelini? Who do you think he's alluding to? Probably Pelini, because he's younger?
Yeah, maybe. I think he's talking about Solich.
Maybe Solich. Okay. All right, what we got next?
And then we got a message from Jane on Facebook. Feeling the best I have in a long time that this year is going to be successful. A lot of work and time has been invested in the team. I think it's going to pay off. GBR.
I love it. Go Big Red. What do we got next?
Let's see. We got one text in here. Someone else said, Adam, where did you get that shirt? I need it in my life. Love this cursive script the best.
I appreciate it. I have no idea. I went through my closet. I'm like, I should wear something red, Nebraska. I found now I'm aware that I have this shirt, but I don't wear it very often, maybe once a year, probably on a game day. I honestly don't recall. It's probably been in my closet for 5 years, and I've probably worn it 5 times.
It's good with your script Husker hat you got going there. You're matching today.
You know what? I am known for my style. No, I'm not. I'm not known for it at all, but at least I match on a Nebraska football game day. Anything else?
There was a question here. 2577 says, if we're in a close game at halftime, what witchcraft should the fans perform to help us not choke?
What witchcraft? Oh man, I feel like that end. I'm sorry, that list is endless. You got any top suggestions, Mr. Whiffcraft, Jake? There.
Well, they're usually. I mean, people always say you got to just go ahead and sacrifice Lil Red, but
start making sacrifices at the 50-yard line. All right. Wasn't there one more? And it was actually my favorite. I think NCAA tournament.
No, that was my own thoughts, actually.
Oh, that was your own thoughts.
Yeah,
well, go ahead, express your own thoughts.
Well,
I thought it was great.
Because you had stated that maybe you picked Clemson for the national title game, but then you remembered that no, that wasn't correct. You had some other teams in there, so I was thinking, well, maybe you're just kind of the double bracket guy, where if you have multiple brackets, you can always go back and say, I picked this.
Yep, it doesn't matter. How many times or how many teams. All you got to do is just keep throwing teams out there. And then when one of those teams wins the national title, you go back, you find that clip, you just put that clip on the internet, and that's all that matters. It's like filling out 15 NCAA tournament brackets. Eventually, you're going to get one right. So to correct myself, the Final Four teams that I had, and I do think, and again, there's 8 or 9 teams, but the 4 that stick out to me right now are Bama, Texas, Penn State, Clemson, that I think are going to be in the Final Four. Okay? And I actually have Texas and Penn State in the national championship game, and I have Penn State winning 3 years in a row for the Big Ten. All right, Ohio State, Texas. Number 1 versus number 3, depending on where you look. Number 1 versus number 2. You got Arch Manning. You got the number 1 quarterback in the country in his recruiting class, which was Julian Sain, depending on which recruiting service you look at. Some had DJ Lagway. You've got the defending national champs. You've got the best offensive player in America, Jeremiah Smith, probably the best defensive player in America, Caleb Downs, coming back. You got a national championship winning head coach, Ryan Day, coming back. New offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline. Never been in a situation like this. First game he's ever been an OC like this. And it's this. And you got Matt Patricia. Now, he's coached in some big games, been a D coordinator, been a head coach, all in the NFL. Okay. But college is a little bit different. So it's a new animal for him. So you got new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. You look across the side of the ball, you got one of the best coaching staffs in the entire country, and they're all back. There's coaching continuity on Gagmeyu's side here. Arch Manning expected to be the Rolls-Royce of quarterbacks this year, potentially. I mentioned some others earlier. When it comes to young quarterbacks, expected to be that guy. He's downplayed it a little bit. Again, kind of like Dylan, got the potential to do amazing things. Don't know that you have to do it year one. When it comes to Texas's defense, top 10 linebacker unit, top 10 secondary unit, they have unequivocally the most established, experienced, and productive pass rush group that's returning in the entire country. They should have the number one pass rush unit in the country. Their question mark is the middle of the defense. They are very unproven and have big question marks in the middle of the defense. If Ohio State can run the ball, they have a real chance to win this game. When you look at Ohio State as a whole, I mean, these two teams as an overall whole do not return a ton of production. They're 80th and 81st in the country when it comes to returning production in the country. Texas just happens to have a lot of it on defense. They got a revamped offensive line, some new pass catchers, new quarterback, obviously. Guy's last name is Manning, so just give him the Heisman. But you look at Ohio State, it's a whole bunch of new as well when it comes to players. It's two programs that you look at and you watch them in practice. When I've had the opportunity a few times over the years, the guy that's second, third on the depth chart doesn't look a lot different than the starter. It's just the relative experience and proven production. My point is these teams don't really, especially Ohio State, don't really have to build up again. They just reload, so to speak. So I don't expect there to be a drop-off. They're both top 5 teams in the country probably by the end of the year. Although I think I had Ohio State 8th in my college football playoff rankings. This is a game that, of all the games that we outlined, I think has the widest variance of potential outcomes. I could see Texas rolling Ohio State with all the question marks Ohio State has. I could see Ohio State winning a close game, losing a close game. I have a hard time seeing Ohio State rolling Texas, but if Arch Manning goes out there, can you imagine the scrutiny he's under? What if it gets to him? I could see it going a million different ways. I come back to defense wins games. I trust Texas's defense unless they struggle to stop the run. And I trust the continuity on Texas's staff, especially a big game one like this. Give me, gag me, you. I have to be objective here. Who you got, Jake?
Well, there's two types of college football fans this offseason. It was those that thought Arch Manning was the next big thing, and those that thought this is a little bit ridiculous that we're all just handing this over to him. I'm in that camp. So I do not want to eat crow right away. I think that Ohio State, I think they got the best players on the field. You know, you can hype up Arch Manning. There are some good players at Texas. I'm not saying there's not, littered throughout that team, but I think the best player is Jeremiah Smith on that field. And so I think that he's going to show out. The game is in the horseshoe. I think that's going to help as well. So I'm going to go with Ohio State. They're favored by 1.5, but the matchup predictor has them as an underdog. So it's a 50-50 game if there ever has been one. But I like Ohio State. I'll go with the national champions to flex their muscle here.
Does Jeremiah Smith win the Heisman?
He should be the favorite.
No, that's not what I asked. Does he win the Heisman?
He's my favorite. So, I mean, if you took me Jeremiah Smith in the field, I'd say the field. So in this question, I'd say no. But who's who I'd have as a favorite?
I'm literally thinking while we're live on air. That's not awkward dead air. That's me trying to think. So we could be here a while. I'm going to take Jeremiah Smith to win the Heisman. I think Cade Klubnik joins him in New York, possibly Gus Myers, Gus Myers as well, who I mentioned earlier, the LSU quarterback. All right, you've got Ohio State. I got Texas. What do we got off the text line before we go to break? We got any picks from the text line?
Eric says, Adam, how much does it hurt you to take Texas?
It hurts me a lot. I love what I do for a living. Two of the things that are the hardest things for me are when I have to talk about a tough Nebraska loss and I have to predict Texas winning. Like when I have to be objective about things I have very strong feelings about. That's the hardest part, but that's what this job requires. I genuinely think Texas is going to win. If it was not in the shoe, I really wouldn't hesitate. I do think in the shoe is going to make a big difference. It hurts me a lot, and I appreciate you checking on me to see how I'm doing on this fine day. Anybody else? Anything else?
I just want to say, maybe not the biggest games, but tonight there are some other games, and we're all focused on Nebraska. Wisconsin is hosting Miami of Ohio. Minnesota is hosting Buffalo. Those are 2 9-win teams out of the MAC. Could get some upsets, especially that Wisconsin one. I don't know if Luke Fickell makes it to October if they lose here this evening. He's got such a tough schedule. They got to win that one.
You make a great point. So I've talked about Florida and Oklahoma's schedule. Wisconsin, by far the most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. Brutal. Those are the 3 toughest schedules in the country, in my humble opinion. And I haven't talked about Wisconsin's difficult schedule enough. With all due respect, I kind of don't care, and I hope they lose a bunch of games, mostly to us. But yeah, keep your eye on that. A couple of Big Ten teams we're going to be, battling it out with for placement in the Big Ten Conference as well. All right, any other games before we go to break? I know we're over time. Anything else from this weekend we need to discuss real quick, because the hour 2 is all Nebraska, Cincinnati.
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Hour 2, and we come back, Nebraska, Cincinnati. Let's light this candle.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is the Adam Carricker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carricker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carricker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carricker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carricker.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into hour 2, numero dos of the Adam Carricker Show. It's a game freaking day edition of the Adam Carricker Show, and I'm hyped. All right. We got lots to talk about, a lot of clips to get into. We heard from Cincinnati's head coach, Scott Satterfield. All right, and we're going to play a clip of that. We got somebody out there who thinks pretty highly of this offense. And when I mean highly, they're going back and using middle school references to explain how highly they think of this offense. And then, sometimes players just need a little media training. I was no different. There's a fun clip we're going to play of a Missouri guy who just had a great answer, just a challenging time articulating it. We're going to laugh with him, Jake, not at him,
That's right.
To be clear. All right. Now, somebody sent me a very kind yet hurtful comment during the break. Go ahead and read it.
Thomas in Lincoln chimes in and says, "Thank you, Adam. Horns up."
So kind yet hurtful all at the same time. All right. Before we dive into all that, it's the noon hour. And ladies and gentlemen, that means it is lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carricker Show here on The Ticket is sponsored by our friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker, and it's 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, get incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and is 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. And our next on-remote show is going to be a week from tomorrow. Jake, are you aware of this?
I am now.
All right. A week from tomorrow, we will be on location at Mulberry Barbecue's South location. All right. A couple of things before we dive into all this. All right. You probably saw this, but we now have 11 black shirts. You pointed out we were missing a D lineman.
That's right.
Not anymore. Keona Davis got his black shirt yesterday. Any speculation as to why it was a day or two later? Did you have the inside intel on this?
It was just, I guess it was just kind of fighting out to see who was going to be the starter there. Even though he was named, there wasn't an or next to his name on the depth chart. That was kind of the idea there.
So Butler said 11 or 12. So unlike what you want, you propose 90 to 92.
Yeah.
Unlike the number you're wearing today.
Give the punter one, give everybody one.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks for wearing 90 today, by the way.
Oh, I'm wearing 87.
Explain who that is.
I'd have to go back and look. I think it's Joe Werner. It's my buddy's. My buddy gave away a bunch of like stuff that he had. He had like Red Sox jerseys and Husker jerseys. So he gave me this 87. And yeah, Joe Werner was I don't even know if that's the correct name. It says Werner on the back, so I looked it up. He was split in like a walk-on on the 1990 team. But 87, that's a good number for Tracy Wistrom to Nate Swift to Brandon Riley. There's been some good 87s over the years.
All right. Deshaun Singleton had an interesting quote as well. I'm sure you heard this.
Yes.
We're filling to make people in wheelchairs stand up. Talking about how good he thinks Nebraska is going to play. When you hear that, first of all, great quote. Just entertaining, phenomenal quote. But when you hear that, what do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And hopefully that's what they get it going. You talk about that defense that maybe doesn't have as much hype going into it as the offense this offseason. A few more question marks. If they can live up to the expectation, if they can cause miracles, then we're going to be pretty excited, right?
If Matt Rule starts walking on water, man.
That's right.
I had a D-line coach one time. He was getting mad. And he said to him, I forget who he said it to in our D-line room. He goes, I'm feeling to lay hands and I ain't talking about healing. And that line has never left me. All right. They're feeling to create miracles with how well they play or how well they plan on playing. I like the confidence. Want to see it play out on the field. Let me see if I got anything else here real quick before we dive into some of these clips. All right. Those notes I've got are for later. So let's dive in. J.D. Pickell does a great job. Like, this is a true college football junkie. Played at Cornell, spent some time at Baylor, was in those meeting rooms when Matt Rule was there, experienced a Matt Rule year 3 jump. Okay, officially played at Cornell after that. Does a great job. Here are his thoughts on Nebraska's offense coming into tonight.
Remember that kid who would come back from, summer in middle school and he left, 7th grade, like, I don't know, 5'11", comes back as an 8th grader. Dude's like 6'4" with a mustache. That's Nebraska's offense to me. Last year, strong finish, not short by any means. Dylan Raleigh got you excited. Dana Holgorsen and him together at the end of the year, I thought was really solid. But Dana Holgorsen now having a full year to get this offense installed, going to the portal, add some key pieces in the perimeter, revamping this offensive line. This offense for Nebraska and the growth spurt they've had this offseason, we're going to see that in this game. I love the year 3 part of this for Matt Rule because that's where his culture really comes into focus. And if you know Matt Rule teams from Temple, from Baylor, year 3 is that pop year. And people point to roster, people point to talent, all those things. It's fair to do. But those teams, in my opinion, having been around the Baylor team in year 3, they were so good because they found a way to just win in the little things, to major in the details, that add up over the course of an offseason that eventually win you football games in the fall. I think this is the part where Nebraska announces themselves as a year 3 team under Matt Rule with year 3 traits.
Jake, when you went in to the summer after your 7th grade and came back for school in 8th grade, you come back 6'4" with a mustache?
I didn't get that growth spurt, unfortunately.
No. When you hear him say this, like basically what he's saying, he expects the offense to make a big jump this year. That's what he's saying. When you hear that, what's your reaction?
Well, it's interesting. Of course, that's the big question, right? And we heard from Dana Holgorsen here recently saying, he's going to run the darn ball. And so it's a little bit different than when you kind of look back at his offensive coordinator days and say, well, all those teams were basically top 10 back when they were doing the air raid. He's no longer in the air raid mantra, so or air raid family. So we kind of have to kind of maybe temper expectations as far as, that goes. But I personally like that. I think that works better for Nebraska, where we are geographically. The teams we're going to face more often than not in the Big Ten. So I like it. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a top 25 unit. It's one of those things you kind of just have to. I hate to say it, but because we're here on game day, is wait and see, and we get to see it today. I've said this before, and again, I'll put it this way: if you took Dana Holgorsen out of the Kool-Aid this year, right? If there was just Glenn Thomas was the offensive coordinator, I'm not sure that you would have nearly as much excitement and upside and people predicting Nebraska to be in the college football playoff. So, the Holgorsen marriage there with RAIOLA is going to be something that we expect big returns from. Does it happen tonight? Is it something that kind of picks up throughout the season? We'll have to wait and see, but we are expecting a huge growth spurt.
Low-key shot at Glenn Thomas right there, man.
Well, anybody. I was just looking for something.
I got you.
Yeah.
Basically, most guys who aren't Dana Holgorsen.
Right.
Because Dana Holgorsen sets himself apart as an offensive coordinator.
And Glenn Thomas was a co-offensive coordinator, never got that shot. I always thought that was kind of interesting.
It was kind of like when Troy Walters was the offensive coordinator. And I remember, I was like, what does he really do? Dude, the next time I saw him, he gave me such a dirty look. He was so mad at me.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a fair question. Scott's calling the plays. You're the OC. Anyways. Yeah, Glenn was co-offensive coordinator, yet Satterfield called the plays. Then when they want to make a change, they don't promote Glenn. They bring in Dana. I don't think that's disrespectful to Glenn when you bring in a guy like Dana. If you brought in another guy that we weren't really aware of, I'd be like, all right, what's wrong with Glenn? No, I don't think it's that. I think it's a compliment to Dana. One of the reasons I predicted Nebraska to go 9-3 this year, Dana Holgorsen, Mike Eckler. That's not a shot at John Butler, to be clear. John Butler's been a defensive coordinator 1 year, 2013 at Penn State. Just not as much proven history there as a coordinator. Now, when it comes to coordinating secondaries outside of last year, and again, I'm just going to be real, there was a disconnect in that defensive coach's room. I don't think there's a disconnect this year. I think Butler, I think Addison, I think Rule, and I think Snow are on the same page. And I think that's the difference on the defensive side of the ball. Whether Butler is a better D coordinator, Tony White, whatever, it doesn't matter if you're not on the same page. You can have Tom Brady and Randy Moss, but if Randy Moss runs a hitch and Brady throws a go, it ain't going to work. So for me, they're on the same page, and I think that helps, especially the secondary. I expect our secondary to be vastly improved. But some of the reasons I feel really good about this year, and Pickell talked about it. You got talent acquisition. You got an experienced quarterback. You got all these guys. With all due respect, I put stock into Rule year 3. I don't put as much because this has not been the typical year 1, 2, and off season going into year 3. The Rule had at Temple and Baylor. It looks very different. He did not change coordinators like he has. He did not bring in a bunch of new players like he has. But college football is different, so he has to do it different. So to me, I can't equate what he did there. It's literally apples to oranges. Is this all still fruit, which I like to say sometimes? Yes, but apples and oranges are different. So I put stock in it when Rule says things like this. There's a limit on the stock I'll put because it's so different. But when he flat out says the team last year was whiny, like he said that. He said they were whiny. There were guys who complained. He pointed out the wide receiver room specifically. Now you can start to figure out who he may or may not be talking about because then he alluded to guys who left before the bowl game. He said guys who left before the bowl game. And then he goes, we found out who wanted to be here during the bowl game. And he goes, we tried some things and some things worked. And he flat out said, we found some proof of concept. If you listen to some of his interviews. And so when he talks about, I like this team this year. Like he said positive things in the past. For a coach to say, I like this team this year, that's an unusual thing for a coach to say. Like, I think we're going to be good at this or better at that or working hard at this. Like he's flat out said, I like this team. Again, going back to earlier in the offseason, this is the team I've been waiting for. What he was talking about was the physicality, the mentality, and the culture that's being built. So I put stock in that. There's a ceiling to the stock that I put in it right now until I actually see it, simply because college football is different. But when Rule says things like that, I look for things. There are certain things that coaches say that ring coach speak to me. There are certain things that coaches say that ring true to me. There are certain things that coaches say that I'm like, I don't put any stock in that at all. When he says things like last year's team was whiny and I like this year's team, that's a moment of true honesty that he doesn't need to have. And he chose to have it because I feel it's real and authentic in that moment. But the reason I predicted 9 wins, and I feel better about it than I would have in the past half decade, Dana Holgorsen, Mike Eckler. Just think if special teams is better. Just think if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Just think if we don't lose the turnover battle every year for the last however many years. Well, if we don't turn the ball over because we're more efficient, because we're a better offense, and we punt the ball to the right direction so the whole punt team isn't going left while the punt goes right, or we're having bad snaps or breakdowns. We had 10 block kicks last year. I've never heard of that. And I coached 5th and 6th graders. We just went for it on 4th down. But that's besides the point. Like, just eliminate that stuff. If we're not better at anything and we just eliminate that stuff, that's where I look at those two. That's what I put the most stock in. To your point, it's Dana. It's Eckler. You know, Eckler's teams were number 1 in the country during his 4 years at Tennessee in amount of punt return yardage. Also number 1 in the country in times that they pin the opponent with inside their 10-yard line. Number 1 in both those categories, and top 25 in a plethora of other categories. That's what makes me feel better. All right, any final thoughts before we go to break here, Jake? Anything off the text line?
Well, just to that, special teams would play a very important role tonight. It is interesting to note that Nebraska, obviously, as we know, hired Mike Eckler this offseason as special teams coach. Cincinnati also has been frustrated with their special teams. They felt like that's cost them games over the last couple of years. They hired a new special teams coach as well. So again, you hope that it translates to success right away. Which coaching staff is able to do that, early on in the season could dictate the win tonight. If, of course, it is a close game. The other thing that's kind of interesting along special teams lines, both teams got a kicker from Charlotte. Both Stephen Rusnak and Kyle Kunanen split time at Charlotte last year. I'm just going based off the numbers here. If it does come down to a kick, Cincy's Rusnak was 11 of 11 with 3 of 3 over 50 yards. So he did pretty good last year.
That's really good.
Kunanen was 5 of 5 last year. So, splitting time there. The Cincinnati kicker seemed to have won that job more often than not as far as who was going to go out there and place kick for the 49ers. So interesting connection there in special teams as well.
It's an interesting point. Could come down to a kick tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we come back. We're going to hear from Cincinnati's head coach. We got a clip to play. We're going to do a direct breakdown. Nebraska, Cincinnati, and then our prediction at the end of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies with light winds, a high around 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds, below around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds, and high near 82. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Adam Carricker Show. Hour 2 of the Adam Carricker Show is sponsored by Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW, Suizo.com. Hey, we're actually on time for once. We are never on time. We're anywhere from 1 to 15 minutes behind on most days. What are the odds we'd be on time on a game day, Jake?
I don't know. Feels good, though. Feels good.
All right. Cincinnati, Nebraska. The main event of life, at least for today. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's play the clip we got from Scott Satterfield, their head coach. I was going to dive into the analysis here. Let's come back and do that. We'll do some analysis, some breakdown, give our predictions. But let's hear about Mr. Satterfield's feeling on the neutral site game, quote unquote.
It's interesting. I've been a part of games before, where you play neutral sites. Hopefully there's not an advantage for the opponent when you're playing in a neutral site. They're 3.5 hours away. We're probably 8 hours away, so they are a little bit closer, and their fans are closer to get to that stadium. So I think the surroundings are new. We're both going to be in new hotels. We're both going to be, having to deal with that. So in that respect, it's the same. There's no advantage either way, I don't think. So really it comes down to, all right, who's going to come out? Who's the best game plan? Who's going to execute? Who's going to play the cleanest game will get this win.
I mean, my thought is just take the money and go play the game, because you gave up a home game because you could get more money. Now, I don't know if this is the best barometer, but if you do a little bit of a deep dive, an amount of podcasts per team, it tells you a little bit about the fan base, because he's like, it's 10-1. It's probably going to be 10-1 Nebraska versus Cincinnati fans because, it's closer. No. We just have more interest, with all due respect to Cincinnati Bearcats football. There's probably about 60 to 70 Nebraska football or sports podcasts. I found 6 on Cincinnati. 6. Now, does that matter if they score more points than us? No. But I just thought it was, I don't know, a little bit interesting. All right. The Cincinnati team. Don't underestimate them. Don't overlook them. I think Jake called them a 14-point favorite the other day. Is that about right? He said Nebraska was going to win 3 games on the year. Is that about right? That sound accurate?
I don't remember saying that.
You don't recall any of that? Okay. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story. All right. You look at Cincinnati. They were a team 5-7 a year ago. They started off 5-2. They beat Arizona State as well. Now, a lot of their team revolves, honestly, around about 3 players. So if you look, they just released their new depth chart 3 days ago. Okay, Brennan Sorsby, junior quarterback. He's the number 1 key player on their offense. I think most of you are probably aware of that. You look at defense here. All right. Well, I'm going to come back to the offense, because then you look at the tight end position, Joe Warrior. We talked about him earlier this week. They brought in a lot of new guys via the portal. They lost 4 of their top 5 pass catchers, but you got to keep your eye on guys and make sure I pronounce their name right here. Jeff Caldwell, Caleb Goody, and Cyrus Allen. Guys brought in via the portal. These are good players. They brought in also, even though he's not listed as the sole starter, Tawi Walker, who was an honorable mention all Big Ten running back for for Wisconsin a season ago. So they brought in some guys. There's a lot of new. How long does it take to gel? How good are they actually? We'll find out. If they're pretty good and they gel quickly, this might be a better team than some people might be anticipating. Now, just to be clear, at the running back position, Poyer, who was one of their running backs last year, it has an or next to his name with Tawi Walker. So it's Evan, then Tawi, and Tawi is second. So maybe Evan is the starter. So it's not like Tawi just came right in and claimed the reins, because Cincinnati lost their starting running back, but the next top 2 guys on the depth chart were both coming back. So clearly they feel they've got a couple of decent players there offensively. You got any thoughts on their offense real quick before we go to defense there, Jake?
No, just the other part is the retooled offensive line. They brought in some offensive line to try to get it going. Some that were particularly impressive. Joe Cotton, a 2-time All-League performer at South Dakota, only allowed 1 sack last year. Taryn Ty was the 3rd-team All-MAC performer at Ball State. So that's going to be key to their offense. If you're kind of looking what's kind of going on, a lot of talk about Sorsby, his running game. Just kind of be an efficient quarterback, but they really want to get behind the running game. That's how Scott Satterfield usually draws it up to get the win. But so we'll see. I mean, it's interesting. The final note I'll have is that in their final 7 games last year, they only averaged 19.3 points per game. So they've got to get a lot better than they were by the end of last season. Unless they can hold Nebraska, 2013 type of game, they're gonna have to score more than that.
This is a team that it makes you nervous because we have a top 20 talent composite ranking on our own side. Just FYI. Okay. You look at the top 50, Cincinnati's not in there. But this is a team who's brought in new players who they're excited about, and it creates unpredictability from our perspective looking at them. So you dive a little bit deeper. Just going to stay on the offense for a second. Cincinnati's offense led by offensive coordinator Brad Glenn is in his 3rd year. All right, their offensive attack is quarterback-driven, as we know. And Brendan Sorsby can take off and run and make plays with his legs. Not necessarily an option-type team, but he can make plays. He threw for 2,813 yards, 64% completion percentage, 18 touchdowns, 7 INTs, and ran for almost 450 yards on the ground, 447, had 4 rushing touchdowns, and averaged 4.3 yards per carry as well. He's the only FBS quarterback last year with a 425-yard passing game, which he did versus Texas Tech, and a 125-yard rushing game as well, which he did versus Iowa State. He's only one of 4 quarterbacks nationally with 2,800 passing yards and 18 passing TDs and 9 rushing scores. Now, Cincinnati, they're trying to do something for the 14th year in a row, which is have a 1,000-yard rusher. Is it ridiculous that I'm jealous of that?
I'm pretty jealous too.
All right. Again, they got Tawi Walker, who had 864 yards, averaged 4.5 yards per carry, had 10 TDs at Wisconsin last year. Evan Pryor, 418 yards, 7.5 yards per carry. He's listed as the first guy. It's Evan, then or Tawi, 1-2. Okay. Let's see. That is 2,209 yards between the two of them, 5.17 yards per carry, 19 touchdowns last year. Again, we've talked about the receivers. Just for example, Jeff Caldwell, 6'5", 93 catches, 1,700 receiving yards, 19.1 yards per catch, 23 touchdown catches in his career. They've got some weapons here. All right. The offensive line, as you mentioned, returns 3 starters, 81 combined career starts, allowed 30 quarterback hurries and 19 sacks, but brings in offensive tackle Joe Cotton. Second team Missouri Valley, all conference, 27 starts at left tackle. And overall, the unit last year scored 25.2 points per game, converted 41.94%, 94% of their third downs, and averaged. They won the average time of possession per game, 31.43, 31 minutes, 43 seconds per game, and 100 first quarter points last season. They start fast. Again, we should be all right, but don't overlook this team. You look at the defense. A lot of it's going to revolve around Dante Corleone. I think their offense is going to be ahead of their defense with some of their new additions that they have. All right, defensive coordinator Tyson Veet is in his second year. Former Iowa State linebacker coach, runs a 3-3-5. All right, a variant of it anyways. Brought it over from Iowa State. They allowed 385 yards per game, 24.6 points per game last year in 2024 with 21 sacks. That's not a lot. They're going to look to change that. 66 TFLs, 5 INTs, 30 pass breakups, and 25 quarterback hurries, 14 fumbles. They forced a lot of fumbles, but they didn't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That's something they're going to try to fix. Key anchors include nose tackle Dante, the Godfather Corleone, 3-time All-Conference, 109 tackles, 17 TFLs, 9.5 sacks in 34 games. That's where Justin Evans and Henry Latufsky and Rocco Spindler, that's where they're going to, it's weird to say, they're going to make their money. It's weird to say that, but it is college football. Going against that guy. All right, linebacker Jake Goldie, honorable mention all Big 12, second highest pro football focus graded linebacker at 80.7. Vincent Shavers was the highest graded pro football focus true freshman linebacker in the country last year. Ja'Cory Barney, the number 2 wide receiver in the country, graded out by Pro Football Focus behind Jeremiah Smith. No shame in that. Now, the secondary added 3 new transfers, right, including cornerback Matthew McDoom, first-team All-Sun Belt, and safety Christian Harrison, ex-Tennessee, son of NFL All-Pro Rodney Harrison, if you remember him, great player. Their linebacker corps was 46th, and their defensive line was 36 preseason rankings coming into this season per Phil Steele. All right, thoughts on their defense? Do you feel better, worse after having learned some of these things?
Well, they're trying to get better. Obviously, like you said, second-year coordinator, so you think that they would take that step up. Corleone's getting a lot of pub and press, obviously leading up to this Cincinnati game. But they weren't very good stopping the run last year. They're 89th in the country, 162.7 yards per game. I think Kansas State ran for close to 280 on them in one of those games. Corleone was playing. So, I mean, it's, yeah, he's a good individual player, but they're going to have to get a lot better. And again, you expect to, you hope to in year 2, always difficult in year 1. Hopefully not always, right? This year, Nebraska's, bringing in their coordinators as well. But so they expect to get better. Wasn't a very good unit last year. And again, similar to the offense, I said they averaged 19 points per game their final 7 games. Last 5 games for the defense, gave up 32 points per game.
They struggled down the stretch. 5-2 to start, beat Arizona State, then went 0-5.
That win against Arizona State, by the way, you knew who started at quarterback for the Sun Devils?
No.
Jeff Sims.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, take that for what it's worth. Ladies and gentlemen, Cincinnati is a team we have the talent advantage on. With all due respect, I believe we have the coaching advantage on. We are the favorites. We should be the favorites. I'm just simply saying don't overlook them. Their quarterback, tight end, some of the weapons they brought in, particularly a wide receiver. I think they have 3 pretty good running backs. I don't think they have a great running back. And Corleone on defense. That's what it's going to center around. If you can hold those guys in check, so to speak, you're going to have success. If you don't, that's when things could get interesting in a first game of the year where you never know how crisp, clean, or maybe mistake-filled the first game of the year can be. All right, special teams. It is the third of the game, contrary to what Jake says. Just how I would take random shots at you today. I apologize,
I love
Jake.
special teams.
I love special teams too. All right, special teams. New coordinator Luke Paschal oversees a unit headlined by kicker. You talked about him a minute ago. Steven Rusnak, transfer from Charlotte and Michigan State. He was third team all AAC. Perfect, as you mentioned earlier, 11 field goals, 5 for 5 from 40 plus, 3 from 50 plus, as you all mentioned that earlier, and set school records for consecutive makes and 4 field goals in a game. He was one of 2 perfect kickers nationally with a minimum of at least 10 kicks in a season. So when I look at this as a team. Well, what are your thoughts here before we head to break? Because when we come back, we're going to give our final thoughts, our official prediction, and then we got a little funny clip to share.
Well, just as far as special teams, again, I was kind of reading through, as you kind of do, the articles on the Cincinnati side. And again, that special teams decision that they made, here's where they struggled, at least according to the article I read on special teams here. Poor decision-making by returners over the last couple of years, poor kick and punt coverage. Hello, Ja'Cory Barney. And a regression in punting altogether. Now they've got a new punter in, so maybe that can kind of help out too. Nebraska fans know kind of that situation as well. Although our punter necessarily machine was not the problem, but so look out for that. Their kick and punt return coverage has not been great.
All right, we come back. Keys to the game. If there's anything off the text line, we can roll through that real quick. We'll give a prediction and then have a little fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers, as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. Join Jay Foreman and I this Friday at 7 p.m. as we kick off the high school football season with a Capital City clash between Lincoln Southwest and Lincoln North Star. Lincoln North Star beat the Silverhawks by 1 point in 2024, meaning Lincoln Southwest seeks revenge in week 1 this Friday. It's Lincoln Southwest versus Lincoln North Star this Friday night with kickoff slated for 7 p.m. and you can hear all the action right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways, tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rolloffs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rolloffs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rolloffs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carricker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is prediction time. We're going to keep track of all of our predictions. So we predicted 5 games this weekend, 4 so far. I took Bama, Clemson, Texas, Notre Dame. You took the exact same teams, except you took Ohio State. So we're going to keep track throughout the season, including Nebraska, Cincinnati today. Who gets more picks right? Also, we're going to predict one thing that we believe is going to happen in each game. Like Dylan RAIOLA is going to throw 6 interceptions. Or, that was Jake's, by the way. Or Dylan RAIOLA is going to throw 6 touchdown passes, whatever the case may be. Pick 6 for the Huskers against Cincinnati. We're going to make 4 field goals, whatever we feel like. All right, sound good, Jake?
Sounds good.
And this was something we were going to discuss. Every show is just so freaking loaded. It's not even made up. Next week, if Nebraska wins, we need to have the discussion. If they go 10-2, will they make the college football playoff? Because there is a strength of schedule that will not go in our favor if that happens. But we got to win tonight to even have the discussion that's already been had by several others. But here is one fair thing before we dive into it. If Nebraska blows out Cincinnati, do you think we end up in the top 25 come Tuesday morning after the Labor Day games? Like 52-17, something like that.
They're like positioned like 35th or 39th or something like that in between that and the polls. So I would say probably still on the outside looking in.
Maybe break top 30.
Yeah.
All right. Biggest keys to the game. What do you got?
Well, we mentioned it earlier. I think special teams is going to be huge. Both teams replacing their special teams coordinators. That's going to be a huge part of this game. Hopefully it doesn't come down to a kick. If it does, hopefully Nebraska makes it and it's on their side and all that. So I think special teams, keeping it, it's game 1, right? Cincinnati had a game last year where they had 13 penalties. If Nebraska or Cincinnati do that in week 1, obviously that puts you behind the 8 ball. So a lot of it's just kind of the simple stuff. In Nebraska should come out with a victory. But the other thing I would say is majorly highlighting is stopping the run, specifically the quarterback, and his involvement in the run game. That's how Scott Satterfield typically likes to draw it up to win, is get the ground game going. So if Nebraska can force them to have to pass a little bit more, Sorsby's capable. But that's not their ideal game plan. So those would be my thoughts.
I honestly don't have anything to add. I'm ready to get to some predictions. All right. My prediction. So all week, I've said 35-20. Social media, etc. I'm going to tweak it. Because the 20 was, I think they're going to get to the red zone and we're going to stop them a couple times. I just don't think they're going to get to the red. I think they're going to get to the red zone one less time. But maybe they can run the ball a little bit better than we would like. Hopefully not. So I'm going to tweak it. It's not much. 35-21. Still taking the over. I know you're smiling. It's silly. But it's 3 touchdowns that we allowed versus 2 and 2 field goals. So 35-21, still taking the over. Nebraska still covers. I still feel like it's so silly, but this is a big game. If we win by 1, that's all I care about. If we win 52-17, by the way, I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys thing on Netflix. They beat the Bills 52-17 in the first Super Bowl, the Leon Lett, thing in the end zone. That's why that came out of my mouth. But 52-17 or 21-20, I will care about the difference, but I will care more if the bad guys have the higher score. So all I care about is winning this first game of the year. Nebraska 35-21. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, I like that kind of range you're kind of thinking. I mean, again, we kind of went through the statistics. That's kind of what close to what Cincinnati was kind of giving up near the end of last year. Hopefully Nebraska is able to score a little bit more on offense than they were last season. The question mark a little bit is on defense and how they can kind of hold up this Cincinnati attack. Again, not a great attack, but it has enough weapons there. And of course, Nebraska just dealing with some transition things there. So I'm going to be in the same neighborhood, 31-20 type of prediction here. I've said it all along. The spread being 6.5, I've been maybe more worried about this game than others, but that doesn't really have a whole lot to do with Cincinnati. It's Nebraska. Nebraska should have taken care of Northwestern in week 0. They should have taken care of Illinois in week 0. They should have won last year's game against UCLA in all these situations. So there's been, it's just that, are you ready to take that next step, win the games you're supposed to in a manner you're supposed to? And the other part of that is, yes, they did win some one-score games last year, but they should have beat Rutgers by more. They should have beat Boston College by more. So I'm not going to be surprised if it's a little bit closer. I think on paper should be around like what we're saying, and I'll go with 31-20.
So you said the spread should be 3.5, but you're predicting us to win by 11.
I was just trying to be dramatic.
I don't let facts get in the way of a good story. So what you're saying is our 2 one-score wins last year, because we were 2-4 in one-score games, we should have been 0-4 because the 2 games we won shouldn't have even been one-score games. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what you got to watch out.
It's not a bad point.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the stats. Yeah.
Honestly, it's I hadn't thought of it that way. I was like, oh, we won one-score games. Oh, we won 2. Your point, they shouldn't have been one-score games. Oh, that's right. Rutgers had a drop touchdown. Boston College blocked 2 of our special teams kicks, and that didn't go well. All right. There's one other thing I was going to point out. Oh, what are we going to predict that's going to happen in the game?
Yeah.
My prediction, it popped in my head immediately. Dylan Raiola throws 3 touchdown passes and completes over 70% of his passes. I'm going for 2. And in order to get it right, I got to get a 2-parter. You now have to do a 2-parter.
All right. Well, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult than what I was going for.
Curveball.
Yeah. I think if I could say this, because I think there's some maybe packages we'll see here. I think Heinrich Harburg is involved in a touchdown. So that would be one of my predictions.
Okay.
And I think Sierra Wright gets off to a good start. Let's go with the Sierra Wright pick.
Oh, I was going to say, I need more than a good start. So a pick,
Yeah.
a pick. All right, Harburg touchdown, Sierra Wright pick. All right, we got to remember this. We got to roll that clip real quick. So this is a Missouri player who was asked a question. Love his answer. Roundabout way of getting there. Let's have some fun.
You guys kept throwing around the term like alpha males in your locker room and within your team. Is that a thing, or can you elaborate a little bit more on that, what that means?
This is a quick. Would you rather date if you were in let's see, I'm gonna do an animal example. If you're in a tiger, would you want to date a cat? No, you don't want to date a cat. You wouldn't want it. Well, of course, it's tigers. The cat. It's a bigger version of it. It's the cat. You know, it's all around the stuff. But you don't want to date a cat, though. Not something we bring. You know what I mean. So that's the difference. Like, it's more so of like not in there. I mean, alpha male. Like who? That's what we're recruiting. That's what we're standing on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Guys is alpha males. Guys is where their feet at. And guys is very vocal and want to compete, you know, and have an edge on them. You know what I mean? So that's more so of being specific. You know what I mean? You won't want to date a cat. You would rather date another tiger, right? Or a lion, something more manly. Yeah,
So somebody else inserted a Russell Westbrook clip inside that clip. Jake, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Go Big Red. Let's throw the bones, but let's beat Cincinnati.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your